And we are live once again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, and do-it-yourself budget hot rodding. On do-it-yourself budget hot rodding, we talk about two main projects here on the Prince Magnum channel, and that is none other than Project Spirit and Project Lena. We got a lot of ground to cover. We were off yesterday. We're back again today. So there's now talk about a second wave to this pandemic, and it's already kind of started where I'm at. It seems like when it starts, everyone kind of, buckles down a little bit, and it goes away pretty quickly. How you doing, Carla and crew? Welcome to the Prince Magnum channel. We got another amazing live stream ahead of us. We're kind of going over some things that we're doing to kind of prepare for the second wave that's supposed to be hitting us. And because the second wave is supposed to be hitting us, we thought it would be beneficial if we kind of told everybody what we're doing for our project cars. So if you yourself want to do the same for your if you've got a project vehicle or any regular vehicles, you can kind of take the same steps. Okay, so kick back, relax, feel free to just mingle amongst us. You are a member of the Maverick Nation, and there's any questions you might have about the project cars or about anything that we're doing, feel free to ask. Okay, what's going on, Daniel Live? By the way, Daniel, I was in your live stream earlier. I dropped a light. I was kind of having a whole lot of stuff going on. What's going on, Hades? Welcome to the live stream. It's good to see you again today. Yes, I'm doing fantastic. Brother, I had a miracle happen to me today. I woke up this morning and I found it not necessary to take a drink. Even after all this time, it is still a miracle when that happens. There you go, Daniel. Real quick, Carla, you've been in here enough, so we're going to make a few minor adjustments here. Miss Carla, if you would do me a favor and drop a comment into the live chat, you'll notice that the color of the text in your name has changed, and you'll notice an icon next to your name. That is now because you are now a member of the Maverick Mechanics, because I know you'll watch my back. So along with that comes with the perk, drop links to your channel or people that you know. Feel free, so we can still continue to network with each other. And thank you so much, Carla. I do appreciate that. And feel free. I mean, that is my big thing. I'm not one of those guys that if you're, it is a great day to be sober. It is a great day to be sober. Now, you guys kind of know the general rule of thumb. Thank you. I appreciate you. A lot of love to this channel. I've been working. What's going on, Queen Bee? Oh my goodness, Queen Bee, welcome to the live. I missed y'all yesterday. Yesterday was my day off from streaming. I did not get a chance to load any videos. So hopefully after this live stream, we'll get to loading Aircraft Remover 13. And I need to quit smoking so much. We got a lot of stuff to go over in this live stream. They're kind of expecting a second wave to the pandemic, and we've already started getting it where I live. So everyone's kind of buckling down, doing what they can do, and kind of preparing for that second wave. And one of the things that I'm really big about anyways is if there's ever a disaster of some sort, that, hey, what's going on, Think Different? If there's ever a disaster or anything, that we should always be prepared long before that natural disaster. Here, everyone in Missouri tends to forget that Missouri sits on one of the nastiest fault lines in the world. When it goes off, it will go off. The last time it went off. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Queen. You know I always appreciate you. Real quick, Queen Bee is our refugee from Twitch. Her and her husband, TFZ Gaming, absolutely a fantastic couple. And we always appreciate our couples here in the channel. Yeah, and see, Think Different lives not too far from me, and he will also tell you that where we live, there's been a lot of mining. And thank you so much, Queen. Queen, don't forget to put the link to your channel and TFZ Gaming's channel for your guys' Twitch channels. But Think Different is he already knows what I was about to say. Missouri has been mined heavily for iron and lead. And as a matter of fact, where I live, there's still an old lead mine there, and the Doe Run Company still owns, the Doe Run, lead belt, and the Doe Run Company. See, if you actually bought land in Missouri, you own the surface rights to that property. If you find anything like lead or iron, that's owned by another company. And most people don't even know that. That is actually something that is not widely known here in Missouri, but it is a true fact that you only own so far down from the surface of your property. After that, if you find any I guess you could say like important metals like lead, which we know what lead is used for, even to this day. And then don't forget, there not only do you have lead, but then there's iron. Iron is still important, iron mining, even though there's not much of that. If they decide they want it, they can take it because it's under the ground. So there's a lot of old mines in the area. And if there is an earthquake in Missouri, basically all that area can easily cave in. So that's always been my thing, because knowing this and knowing all of this, I have been very focused for years that if there's ever a disaster, always be a step ahead. Well, we've covered a lot of that already in previous live streams. We might do it again for the sake of humor, because just because you do one thing doesn't mean you're not going to do another, blah, 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 blah. You guys get the general idea. So because of all that, basically when this pandemic broke out, we were actually already prepared. We were actually like miles ahead of the game. So in this particular live stream, we're actually going to be kind of going over some of the things that we picked up over the course of the last, I would say, 3 to 4 days. And because I know that right now there's been a big break in the supply chain, getting stuff to the stores. And because of that big break in the supply chain, there's even been shortages of certain things that we use for the project cars. And because there's been those shortages, it just makes sense to get it now while it's available, rather than wait until we're desperately needing it later. So I'm going to actually go over some different things, and I'm even going to give you guys some interesting tidbits on, basically, some stuff that most people wouldn't think, and it'll save you some money and all that other stuff. So we're going to cover a lot of ground. And again, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to ask, okay? In a do-it-yourself budget hot rodding episode or live stream, there really isn't, for the most part, there really is not anything, there's no such thing as a dumb question, okay? If you don't know, and I happen to know, then it's my duty to not ridicule a single person, but to give that knowledge so they have it, so they can help themselves, because that is what a DIY channel is supposed to do. And we are focused on DIY. Currently right now, like I said, we did have a good size haul today. We finished up a good portion of our haul today. We'll probably be picking up I'll be picking up a couple more things here and there throughout the week, between now and my next paycheck. And then once that is done, I won't have to worry about any of that stuff from now until later on. Okay. And at a certain point, we will go out and do a quick walk around, because I know you guys love the project cars. And And I know some of you have been asking to see Project Lena. I am actually really surprised how much of a following Project Lena has, but then again, I'm really not. Project Lena, we always say it here on the channel, and you guys have heard me say it a few times. Project Spirit's the kind of car that most people want for their daily driver, but Project Lena is going to be the one you're more likely to end up with. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Project Lena. Project Lena is, those little Pontiacs, if you take good care of them, they'll last you a long time. And she's right at that cusp just before General Motors started cutting quality in order to save money. And it was right just before that. Okay, so we're over the 10-minute marker. Before I dive into the haul, let's briefly talk about our dear friend, Third Gen 83. Him and I were talking on the phone yesterday, and yeah, there's some of you in the Maverick Nation that actually have my phone number. You guys can call me anytime. I know some of you have got my email, and any of you can call me anytime you want. Basically shoot me an email. Hey man, I'd like to have your number. I'd like to talk to you. And I have no problem with that. I will be glad to talk to anybody, whether it's on sobriety, cars, whatever. So you guys know I always have a friendly ear. I may not have all the right answers, but I'm glad to listen. Okay, and don't ever think you're bothering me. Okay. So, Third Gen 83, him and I were talking yesterday. He bought something for Project Spirit. We're figuring it'll be here around Friday. If it is here on Friday, we will be skipping Fancy Friday and moving Fancy Friday to, we'll be doing a Sunday's Finest, if you will. So you guys will still get your suit and tie episode. It's just that if that box is here, we have to do an unveiling and start looking at how we're supposed to put it on Project Spirit. So it's going to be really cool. This is not the first unboxing that we have done here on the channel. We've had people send already, other people send stuff for Project Spirit. So this is going to be like another one that's going to be sending something for Project Spirit. That's awesome. I love it when you guys send stuff. Project Spirit gets presents. That's funny to me. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to double check, make sure the chat is still active. All righty. So let's go over the first thing real quick. I see a total of 5 of you in the live stream and a total of 4 likes. If there's anybody who hasn't had the opportunity, if you are enjoying the Prince Magnum channel, be sure to smash that like button as hard as you can and make sure that YouTube knows that we are a force to be reckoned with. On top of that, let me also say, before I forget, tomorrow is going to be an in-your-face episode, and we're going to be talking about a time frame in our country that there are some young people that need to know about it and still know that we are dealing with the repercussions of it. We're going to be talking about the Vietnam War. Tomorrow, in tomorrow's live stream, we're going to talk briefly we're going to talk about our veterans in general, but we're going to talk a lot about Vietnam, more in particular, some things that I've learned and things that is just not talked about. So expect that tomorrow, unless something should change, because I'm also cleaning the kitchen in between all the work, cleaning the kitchen and doing laundry and just getting stuff together because I am tired of working in a junked up kitchen. So we got to take care of business, All righty. Let me double check. Has anybody said anything? Everyone's been real quiet. All righty. Let's talk about Project Spirit. Okay. Now, y'all know, I don't know how to, you see that great big old jug of oil up there? That jug of oil, along with this is part of her next oil change. I've also been kind of cleaning up the shelves over there, but in the middle section is where on the second shelf is where all Project Spirit's oil filters are. There's enough oil filters there to do a total of 3 oil changes. That jug up there, along with this bottle right here, will handle 1 oil change. which that's due. Every 3 months, we still use conventional oil in Project Spirit. So every 3 months, well, every 3,000 miles or around every 3 months, we we add, we do an oil change, whether we think she needs it or not. If basically if it's been 3 months, I'll change her oil. If it's 3,000 miles, I change her oil. Now with synthetic oils, you can get away up to 5,000. I know some of the manufacturers say, oh, it'd go up to 10,000 miles or 100,000 miles. Bull. Don't fall for that. Okay. If they're putting that on there, I'm telling you, I have seen people that, well, I'll give you an example. I was actually watching another YouTube channel, and I forget who it was, or otherwise I would point you in the direction of, but he was talking about how this guy had a Honda Civic. And Honda Civics are pretty reliable, unless you start just slapping stupid stuff on it. If you just treat them like a daily driver, what they're meant to, they're very reliable. And this guy bought it and he had it for, it was up to, I think it was like 150,000 miles, which is really not a whole lot for a newer vehicle. He was having to do an engine swap. The engine was junk. And then they went over the service record of that vehicle and the computer. He followed when the computer told him it was time for an oil change, he would take it in and have it serviced. Here's the problem. He listened to that stupid computer. Back in the 70s, they had these little indicator lights on the dash. When they would flash, when they would come on, then you knew that by the time they actually came on, there was already a severe problem with your vehicle and it was gonna blow up. We called them idiot lights for a reason, because you were an idiot to trust them. You were better off with gauges or just keeping a close eye on things yourself. Well, today, that stupid cluster of lights is kind of the equivalent of what it was in the 70s. So here this poor guy was, he did exactly what following what right? He followed what the manufacturer, what the lights were telling him, like he was supposed to, and come to find out, he was blowing up his engine. So conventional oil every 3,000 miles, synthetic every 5,000. Now, if you're wondering why we don't use synthetic oil, we have vehicles with miles on them. And I remember back in the 90s when synthetic was really becoming a thing. They're like, oh, it's so much better than the conventional. And they're right. It is, but it has one nasty downfall. If your engine has one little minuscule oil leak, that synthetic oil will find it and it'll make it 1,000 times worse. I don't know why that is, but that has always been a thing since the 90s. And I suspected that they would have gotten that fixed within 10 years. That's about the norm. No, they have never fixed it. So let me say right now, we made the mistake of using synthetic oil on Project Spirit twice since we've had her, and she leaks oil 1,000 times worse than what she did when we first got her. So that's one of the other reasons why we're going to have to do a complete engine swap, or we would have to rebuild her engine pretty much, because when you start taking an engine like that apart, you're just better off rebuilding it at that point. So synthetic oil did the damage. That's why. Okay. So that's why we don't use synthetic oil on either vehicle ever. I don't care if it's cheaper than the conventional. Ooh, watching Aladdin. There you go. There you go. That's what's up. Okay. So now that we've discussed that, let me tell you where we got our oil. Okay. Now this is, there's that one. And then there's this one. We have enough here, enough motor oil to do 2 oil changes. Okay. And these are 5-quart jugs. All right. Or 1.25. These are 5-quart jugs. What's going on, Charlie? Welcome to the live stream. You knew I was in your live stream the other day. Yesterday it was, I think, and hung out with you. I love what you were doing in your live stream. It was really good stuff. So we picked up a second one of these. So I now have enough motor oil minus the STP engine oil treatment with engine stop leak, which we'll talk about that in a second. I now have enough motor oil to do two oil changes to the engine. All I need is one more of these, and I am set. Okay, I am actually set from now until you know, give or take about 6 months. I'm good for that. Okay, at least around, well, no, because we're getting ready to change the oil in Project Spirit. So I'm good for another another 6 months. Yeah, I was right the first time. So along with that, because of we also picked up the individuals for topping her off as we go along. Okay, and then because what's good for Spirit is also good for Lena too, except in weight, in oil weights. You're gonna laugh about this. All right, we picked up Project Lena's oil. Okay, now she doesn't get quite the miles that Spirit does, but she does get miles. So we picked up one of these, and this is all from our friends at Rural King who hooked us up with these. So now that we've talked about that, real quick. This is Project Lena's motor oil for topping off, okay? 5W30. Project Spirit gets SAE 30. Big difference, okay? This is a whole lot thinner. And the oil ports inside of the Project Lena's smaller than they are in Project Spirit. When you're doing basically, if you will, modern kind of mid-level performance, V6, Project Lena, multi-grade oil, more technology than it really needs to do the job. Project Spirit's inline 6, think tractor. Okay, but they're conventional oils with the proper oil detergents in them, and they do a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, Project Spirit, I try to use any other oil on her now, and she throws a giant fit. She does not like any other oil other than what you get at Rural King now. She's just very, very particular about that. Them old cars are finicky like that. They're just real finicky. All righty. So, now that I've discussed that, let's also talk about the day before. Well, real quick, what is the price that I spent on the motor oil? Well, we went over to Rural King, and literally, that's the name of the place. This is the receipt. For one of the 5-quart jugs, it was $9.49 before tax. And that was with both, basically one jug, which was 5 quarts of oil, one full oil change. And then when you get into the actual quarts of oil, they're $1.99 before tax. And then besides so basically along with that and Princess Faye, when we go into a Tractor Supply place like that, we always like to get the types of sodas they have in there. I had to get me a sarsaparilla while she got herself an orange cream soda. All total, what's going on, filming? We're talking about a haul for Project Spirit and Project Lena, getting ready for the second wave. Basically, all total, including the sodas, we spent a grand total of $29.59, enough for 2 oil changes and topping off the vehicles for the next 3 months. That is not bad at all. And that doesn't even include the engines. The only thing that we couldn't get there is the engine stop leak stuff, okay, for Project Spirit. So now that I've discussed that, what's going on? The amazing LSB. My goodness, so many of you guys coming into the live stream. All right. I already know. I know at this point. We talked enough about the motor oil and that sort of stuff and the haul from Rural King. basically we spent enough for 2 oil changes in one place, plus we got a couple of sodas. All totaled, that basically means that we spent just under $30 for 2 oil changes. The only difference is we have to do it ourselves. And I have Project Spirit's other all of her oil filters over there on the shelf. And even though I did not need this extra thing of motor oil, I'm just planning ahead. And by the way, this is what Spirit uses: SAE 30, straight 30 weight. Project Lena uses 5W30. Again, if you've got any questions about the project cars, how it might even pertain to your vehicle, by all means, please ask. Okay? There's no such thing as a dumb question here on the Prince Magnum channel. If you don't know, and I might know, then I want to do my best to answer your questions. Okay? Obviously there's some things I just can't answer, but for the most part, I'll be able to probably answer a great deal of your questions, because despite the fact that some people think that with the project car, with Project Spirit, old school carbureted engine, modern vehicles are a lot more techy than Project Spirit. Yeah, that's true. But it's still the same. Trust me. It's a lot simpler than you think. Okay, so that covers all of that. Real quick, we also got to talk about going over to Harbor Freight. We went over to Harbor Freight. I had to pick up a couple of things for work, and I get reimbursed whenever I do that. But along with that, I seen a sweet deal on some sockets, some metric sockets for Princess Faye. And with those metric sockets, basically we took them out of the original packaging. These are Princess Faye's brand new sockets that she will be keeping in Project Lena. We actually keep a total of three toolboxes here on the channel. There's supposed to be a toolbox each, one for Spirit, one for Lena, and then there's supposed to be a third one that's going to be like overflowing with tools and all sorts of stuff like that. That is strictly for just keeping here at HQ. So in other words, if you will, for the project cars, they get their own first aid kit, if you will, while here at home, we have the complete trauma kit. So that's just something that we do. Folks, I can't stress that enough. Even if you don't know a whole lot about cars, still keep some tools on hand. What's going on, Subaru Nerd Vapes? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the Prince Magnum channel. You know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about we're talking project cars here today. I just did a haul. We picked up a ton of motor oil for doing oil changes to both Project Spirit and Project Lena. And that one up there is actually for the oil change that we're going to be doing sometime this week. That's right. Okay, I know what y'all want. Let me hang on a second. Oh, Carla's still in here because I know what she wants. Everybody wants to see the project cars. And then we'll come back up and then we'll talk. I'm even going to give you guys some really, really cool old school money saving tips on coolant, engine coolant. All right, Subaru. I know you're into the Subaru cars and things like that. Me, I like my classic cars. Going back. Actually, there's 2 time frames for cars that I love more than anything in the world. The first time frame that is still my all-time favorite is the 1950s. I love the cars in the 1950s. They were gorgeous, beautiful, just absolute works of art here in the United States. There's no cars that will ever come close to the beauty and style of the 1950s. There you go. That's what's up. But my second favorite time frame is the 1970s. And a lot of people look down on cars of the 70s. I don't think the cars of the 70s get enough credit. I like cars of the 70s because honestly, I like the way the cars of the 70s handle better than the ones from the 60s. Yes, I said that. What's going on, Bad Boy Gamer 44? Welcome to the live stream. All right, so now that we have done all of that, let's take a walk. For those of you who are not familiar with the project cars. So, let's take a walk-see. There you go. That's what's up. Coming through, honey. We're taking a walk.
Where are you going?
Project cars. Just a quick walk around.
Have fun, don't fall.
I'll do my best.
See you next trip.
Alrighty. So let's take a walk down to the project cars. I actually purposely moved Project Spirit a little bit closer so y'all get a look at her. Okay. So, I'm going to show you the first one, and this is my wife's project car. This is her project car, Project Lena. A 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. Now, most of the time when these cars are, you know, by this time, they're in very, very poor shape. Project Lena is an exception. She has had, we have had one major accident with her. Right up here, we actually hit a deer, and this was all caved in. I worked on it and got it to this point where it's, you know, back out like that. I mean, unless you get right up on it, you won't notice. Okay? And it did crack it here. Matter of fact, Princess Faye was with me when it happened. She's like, I can't believe. Oh, you're going mountain climbing. So, this is Project Lena. And as a matter of fact, I've got some video to put up and show you guys where Princess Faye, for the most part, it was Princess Faye. She actually, we're going to get brand new headlights. We got a project for that in itself. You really think different. You're on the same page, but it's going to be a big project. This window, for the longest time, did not roll up or down. Princess Faye actually herself, with a little bit of help from me, but for the most part, it was all her. She did her own window regulator, and now this rolls up and down like it's supposed to. Back here, I mean, we bought it from a place called Car Mart, and it's not been a bad little car. I mean, it needs a little TLC, and we do have new back brakes on it, and you could see how bad it was getting when you start seeing that rust, the rust corrosion sticking to it. You know it was bad. So that's how bad these back brakes were, and she's got new brake pads on, so she's doing a lot better in that regard. We still got to change the ones on the front, but this is Project Lena, okay? A 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. Yep, all that semi-metallic dust, that's right. So, and ironically enough, everyone really likes Project Lena. Project Lena is just that car that most people are like, yeah, it's a pretty nifty little car. Now, over here is my car. And yes, I daily drive it. This is Project Spirit. My 1975 Ford Maverick four-door sedan. Yeah, I think Different is a huge fan of Project Spirit. He just falls in love. He's fallen in love with this car since the first time he laid eyes on her. And that, believe it or not, was a long time ago when he first laid eyes on Project Spirit. Now, back here is one of the biggest recent changes that we made, and did a whole video on it. But that is the taillight panel, and we took it down to the bare metal and cleaned up all the surface rust and brought it back. And originally this panel was same color as this, but it was all pitted with rust through the paint, so we had to take care of that. And now that is all done, and it looks amazing in my opinion. I mean, it looks really good. What do you guys think? We'll step back and get it even, there you go, wide shot. That does look amazing, doesn't it? It's gorgeous. And the original engine is still under the hood after all of this time. Project Spirit's original engine is still there. Now, real quick, for our lovely ladies, I'm going to say this again. This striping on Project Spirit that you see all down the sides here and on her hood here and over here, that is not factory pinstriping. That is custom. Princess Faye put that on herself. The hood alone took her 2 hours. Okay? So, if you will, this project car, Princess Faye and I both work on together. She just likes to throw me, we sometimes work together on Project Lena, but most of the time she throws me off the project and only keeps me around when she needs me. But I will also tell you back here, when it comes to the taillight panel, Princess Faye actually took away the satin black paint, and she basically said, let me take care of this little bit of business. Isn't that awesome? I got an amazing wife. No question about it. So, oh, and Subaru, if you're still in the live stream, you're going to love this. You're looking at a Hurst Shifter, a 3-speed manual Hurst Shifter. They don't even make these anymore. With the Punisher skull, thank you very much. This is an actual Hurst Shifter. They don't make this type, Hurst no longer makes these shifters. As a matter of fact, when we got this one, they said that there was only 2 left on the shelf, so I imagine those are long gone by now. But I have one of the last 3 that was left on the shelf in this country, made by Hurst, for the 3-speed manual transmission. So if you ever want, Hurst is the company for stick shifts. Hands down, bar none, you don't get better. And I know y'all are going to ask, we are getting closer. Getting so much closer. When that odometer turns over, she will have a grand total of 300,000 miles on her original engine when she was built in November of 1974. I'll let y'all take that in for a moment. And yes, that speedometer does not have kilometers on it, and it does go all the way up to 120. Oh, and there's that panel that y'all thought was so neat when y'all watched me do that in the live stream. Oh, I forgot the dash cam. I did some filming earlier today. You like that, huh, LSB? Yep. So this is our project. This is our Project Spirit. This is the car that people fall in love with, and everyone will tell you that if they could, they would love to have their hands on this car. As a matter of fact, one of the next things we're getting ready to order off for is a brand new GPS tracking device. So if she's ever stolen, we'll be able to find her. And then, of course, again, over here is Project Lena.
Don't touch my baby.
Yes, dear. And Princess Faye will tell you she's a fan of Pontiac. Pontiac's one of her companies she likes. So.
He's doing a live stream right now.
Alrighty, so we got that covered, don't we? All right, let's head upstairs. Let's go on back upstairs. Now that we've, went ahead and did the walk around of the cars again. How much y'all love those cars. For the record, when we talked about the project cars and did kind of like a what car do you like the most here on the Prince Magnum channel? Which of the 2 project cars? You guys pretty well answered exactly how I figured you would answer. Project Spirit, she definitely landslide, and but there were some of you out there that were like, no, Project Lena's the cool car. That was really neat how the Pontiac community came to really, was like that. No, Project Lena. That's a cool car, you know. But I kind of knew where it was going to go. But I was happy to see that Project Lena got some love of her own, if you will. Okay, so we're back inside, and at a certain point, we do need to talk about. We will talk about the dash cams. Because that's kind of a tradition here on the channel. We have to talk about the dash cams and the use of them. Okay, because we use it for more than just over the dash. All right, now I said I was going to talk about kind of an old school money saving tip for coolant. We're talking antifreeze. All right, here's what I got. Okay, now I don't get hung up on name brands especially on antifreeze. So the SuperTech stuff from Walmart is just fine, and it's reasonably priced. This particular jug cost me about $10 after tax. The premix, the 50/50 premix, because this is the concentrate. And let me explain before I go any further. There are two types of, in all types. Okay. It doesn't matter what kind of coolant you're getting. There's really only two types to choose from for every category. Even if you're getting Dex Cool for like Project Lena, there's the concentrate that you have to mix it. You have to mix in the equal. I would not drink that unless I want Bell's palsy. Okay, and then paralysis, and then into no, it's poisonous. All right, so where was I? Okay. I buy the. By the way, how you doing, Mr. Cartoon Maker? Movie Maker? Yes, Mr. Cartoon. Welcome to the live stream. All right, real quick. This. Well, he hadn't been here long enough yet. Let him stick around a little while, and then we will. We shouldn't just throw wrenches out automatically. Remember, we did that before, and someone abused it, and now they even make one wrong move, and we're going to be all over them. Okay, so I don't want to have to go through that again. So we're a little bit more strict about the wrenches. All right. So real quick, this is the concentrate, and this is for projects, green stuff, if you will, the green coolant. All right. The green coolant is what the old cars used to use. Project Lena uses what's known as Dex Cool, and it's specifically for modern General Motors vehicles, and for some car companies or certain vehicles, there's like ones that are just for the imports, the Japanese imports and things like that. So you'll have to, just learn your coolants. With Project Spirit, the old green stuff, just fine. Now that I've said that, doesn't matter what category you're talking about, Dex Cool, the traditional green, or like the ones for the imports or anything like that. Let me say right now, there's two categories to really choose from in every category. There's the concentrate, and then there is the premix. Okay, the concentrate, you have to take you've got 1 gallon of this, well, you have to mix in 1 gallon of water. That then makes 2 gallons of premix coolant. All right. So for $10, around $10 after taxes, I now can make make up to 2 gallons of antifreeze, premix antifreeze for Project Spirit. The premix, 1 gallon, okay, where they mix it for you, put it in a jug. It's 50, it's half antifreeze, half water. Okay. You'll pay about $8 after taxes. Do you guys see where convenience costs you more? Basically, for them to mix it for you, you're going to pay more. For me to do it, In other words, when you start doing the figures, you figure it's about $10 after taxes, about that. We'll just say $10, okay? So I'm paying $5 for a gallon of 50/50 antifreeze for Project Spirit, whereas everybody else who's buying the premix, they're paying $8 for the same amount. In other words, this is cheaper in the long run. Even though you're paying more out of the gate, you're getting double, okay? You're doubling, so this is the cheaper way to go because you get twice the amount compared to, that's what? Compared to that, I'm saving, well, about $6, thereabouts. I mean, however you want to figure it, $5, $6, okay? So, do the math on that yourselves, but you see where the better deal is. I would rather do it myself at that point. So that is, and I know Think Different is actually in the live stream, and he'll tell you that's how we used to do it. And in the 90s, they started coming out with that 50/50 mix where they did it for you, and it was supposed to be convenient, but you paid more money for that in the long run. I will only buy something like that if I can't get this, or I don't have, or I'm not where I can do the mixing myself. See what I mean? So that's just a little tidbit for you. So if you've ever wondered about that, that's a little insight in. That's a little secret for you. It's an old hack, and it's a great way to save money. Okay, and basically, I will have one jug here. Exactly. It's a waste of money. Okay, let me figure it up here. I'll shoot. Uh-oh. Having a malfunction here. Oh, that's what happened. This hunk of junk card. I may end up losing some of my old footage. Okay. We'll take that out and I'll fight with that later. All right, let me bring up my calculator. So we'll say we're just rounding it off. Okay, for the 50/50 mix, it's going to cost what, $16, and for a total of 2 gallons. All right, so that's going to be $16. Because it's about $8 per gallon of 50/50 for Project Spirit. So that's what, 16, and for 2 gallons, where I have to mix it myself, it's $6. $6. I didn't have to go that far. So yeah, it's a $6 savings by doing it the way that I just said, doing it the old way. So buying the concentrate and doing it yourself is from the long. You're saving yourself $6 down the road, and it's really easy to do. It's half and half. That's literally it. And here's a little hack. Okay, a little hack. I will keep actual empty jugs for antifreeze, fill it up halfway with this, and then I'll fill them the rest of the way up with water. It used to be that people would get out buckets and everything else, and it was just keep an empty jug. Just keep an empty jug. It's not that hard. Some people make it so complicated, and something that I will also recommend, every time you go to top off your coolant, shake the jug a little bit because sometimes it'll separate. So there you go. See, that was neat, wasn't it? Now, real quick, I started to talk about our trip to Harbor Freight, and we got these. Princess Faye, when she seen them, they were $1 more, and I'm like, you know what? No big deal. So I went ahead and opted for these because she really liked them, and Princess Faye. Okay. Seafoam. Now that's a good one. Think Different. I'm glad you asked that question because I wanted to talk about that at some point. I do not like Seafoam. There have been other YouTubers who have went and tried to test Seafoam Um, and they are right. The first time you use it, it does an amazing job. It does exactly what it's supposed to, but it is not recommended to ever use it on that same engine ever again. You use it that one time, okay, on an engine that's not been taken care of to begin with, and it usually kind of brings it back to life a little bit. It breaks up all those deposits. However, where I live, it's like $7, $8 for a thing of Seafoam. I still use Marvel's Mystery Oil in Project Spirit and Project Lena. As a matter of fact, I use it on other stuff too. If can see that spray bottle up there hanging on the shelf, that's actually Marvel's Mystery Oil. We used this in a live stream the other day, and because Project Spirit's door squeaks a little bit, well, I sprayed it on that, and you heard me open the door, no squeaking. It got rid of it. Took it a moment to kind of work down in there, but no more squeaking. She doesn't squeak when I open the door. Along with that, Marvel's Mystery Oil, you put a little bit, you put whatever the recommended amount is in your gas tank when you fill up on gas. And when you do an oil change, you put the recommended amount for the amount of quarts of oil that your engine uses in with your engine oil. This helps lubricate the engine. It does amazing stuff. If you have a tendency to sometimes go a little over, your next oil change, it's not a super big deal. Your engine oil will hold up a little bit longer, kind of give you that little window of maybe extra 500 to 1,000 miles in every case. And when you put Marvel's Mystery Oil in your engine oil, well, into your gas, it does the same exact thing that Seafoam does, and you pay about half the price. Okay, so we have been able to, and Marvel's Mystery Oil, I think we looked it up on the label. It's been around since what, 1926, I think is what the date was on it. So that should tell you how good this stuff is if we're still using it after all these years. Seafoam, if you use it more than once on an engine, it starts doing the engine serious harm. It starts destroying the internals. It'll crack valves. It'll mess everything up. It's like using that old the engine when they had that in the can, the restore engine restore in a can, and people would use it in their car, and then they would drive it, and then like 3,000 miles later, they would have the engine apart and found huge cracks in the cylinder walls and stuff like that, busted valves and valve springs that were all jacked up. Same thing. Basically, this stuff is basically engine wreck in a can. Okay, that's what it is. You're better off with Marvel's Mystery Oil. It's been working all this time. I don't know why we need some. Yeah, I do not use that. Do not use Seafoam. As a matter of fact, my partner, Mr. Sketchgar, started telling me about Seafoam, and I said I'm very familiar with it. I said I already know all about it. I said, here's what you need to know. And his jaw dropped. He's like, this is the old school stuff that I love. He's like, you know so much. And him and I he would get talking about computers. And when you could get him to stop about computers, you had to, but then I would start in on cars, and you could never shut either of us up because we know our stuff, you know. And there's another one. There's a couple of you in the Maverick Nation that, hands down, bar none. I mean, you're good at what you do. There's a lot of you that are really good at what you do. Our new tech guy, who's been watching in the background, for our one specific troll, he very knowledgeable. I was learning so much from him, and I couldn't even keep up. Just highly intelligent. That seems to be the norm with all of you in the Maverick Nation. You guys are really, really dang smart. We did have, since we're talking about Harbor Freight, we did have one little. I was actually kind of pissed. We bought one of these for basically keeping track of, sockets. They don't hold on to sockets like they're supposed to. They're crap. But what do you expect? It's $1. Now, I have bought one of these before, and I was really happy with it. I'm not happy with this one. So this is one of those things. It doesn't take long, but to look at the label right there, where it's made in China. So what do you expect? You know, basically I bought a cheap Chinese product and I should, expect what I expect. But anyhow, so we do have some brand new sockets for Project Lena. Project Spirit does not really use a whole lot in the way of metrics. You really shouldn't see a whole lot in the way of metrics. The only way there would be metrics on there is if anybody put metrics in place after the car was bought brand new, all the way up until now. And I avoid metric tool, a metric, it, I'm going to say it, okay? If it's meant for the United States, SAE bolts, nuts and bolts, okay? Car manufacturers, if it's meant for the United States, SAE is just fine. We don't mind SAE. We've been using it for years. If it's meant for the rest of the world, by all means, please give them their metrics. That is what they use. In this country, we still use SAE. Inches, yards, feet. We are very comfortable with this. If you car manufacturers want to switch to using strictly metrics on your vehicles, go to another country. That's simple. What's going on, Gavin John? We're doing a little car talk. We actually went on a haul, a big haul. It took us a good minute. Princess Faye has her brand new sockets. Check these out. These are all metric. By the way, because of that one thing that's supposed to hold these on was complete garbage, here's an old life hack. Get yourself some baling wire, or in this case, it's actual crafting wire, okay? And then we strung it through. You don't have to necessarily put them in order, but if you're, kind of anal like that, that's totally fine. You can put them in order and then just kind of loop it in here at the top. So when you need one of your sockets, twist that around and there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. Just like that. And that's an old hack. All right. And this is still cheaper than what we got over there. Complete garbage. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Again, we've got enough motor oil to do 2 oil changes to Project Spirit, enough to do 1 oil change to Project Lena, and she usually doesn't need an oil change as often as Spirit. Project Spirit gets the most of the gas mileage. I'm sorry, she gets most of the mileage put on her, and that's just kind of how it is. Project Spirit gets a lot of miles. So she has to get good gas mileage for as old as she is. She has to be really good on gas. Now, again, we talked about, so for Gavin John, we did talk about the economics of doing the mixing our own antifreeze. Showed the $6 savings, and at one time it was even better than that. So the prices have still kind of varied a little bit. It'll fluctuate throughout the year, but by and large, I've seen in some cases where it's $6 all the way up to almost $10. So this is nothing new. It'll fluctuate throughout the year, and the summertime, certain prices will go up, and then towards the wintertime, those prices will drop. So I'm not worried. So we have enough coolant to last a good minute for Project Spirit. Gavin John, you missed it. We went out and we took a look at Project Spirit. I know how much. I know you're more of you're a computer. You'll build a computer. Okay. Here, Gavin John's a lot like my partner, Mr. Sketch Scars, Jammin' John. I'm going to tell you so. You've heard me say that I think that Jammin' John could easily fix a supercomputer with a paperclip. Gavin John is the same exact way. I had the opportunity to talk to him, and he blew my mind on some computer tech that he was explaining to me. I'm like, dang man, You sound like so this is what this feels like whenever I get talking about cars to someone who has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. This is what it's like for them. Thank you for making me feel very humble. So that is real quick. Again, I have enough oil filters behind me to do 3 oil changes. What's going on? Blocklight, welcome to the live stream. It's good to see you. And of course, we talked about Project Lena's motor oil. No. I mean, I was impressed. I was really impressed, Gavin John. You're you're a very, very intelligent man. I was really impressed. And again, that just proves my point that there are so many of us in the Maverick Nation that are so highly intelligent. It's spooky. We had. I will say it again. The Prince Magnum channel has an amazing cross section of knowledgeable people. I've met some of you that are highly intelligent when it comes to computers. I've met some of you that I've met a few of you that know things about game coding and things like that. And I'm like, holy shit, how the heck, game coding? And there's some of you out there that understand certain. I mean, some of you have even taught me some stuff in cooking, passed on some stuff in cooking that has helped me out a great deal. There's been some of you that have, you know, given me ideas for videos and just things like that. I mean, I am in no short supply of highly intelligent people in the Maverick. That is not a joke. There's a lot of you. I know that we have a couple of you in here that are amazing artists, just phenomenal artists. And I can only sit there and look at your work in complete awe. Um, you know about computers? That's awesome. So a lot of you are really, really highly intelligent people. When I come on here and it doesn't surprise me, Blacklight. Again, a lot of you are really, really intelligent people. Um, and I know Think Different. He's a gearhead like me. So I'll get talking about something. He knows exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the old cars. And as a matter of fact, Think Different and I don't live too terribly far away from each other. I think he lives a couple of towns from me. And he's actually he's been right there and seen Project Spirit, so he knows what she looks like. He sees her, and he'll tell you that she's a very popular car in the area. Um, oh yeah, Gavin John is a highly intelligent person, highly intelligent. Um, I have a hard time keeping up with him. Yeah, so yeah, and Think Different will tell you Project Spirit is a very popular car in our area that a lot of people just really love her to pieces. Um, and I'll tell you a funny story. A couple of days ago, um, I think it was Sunday. Two idiots met and at the McDonald's drive-through in Farmington. Two idiots met. One guy offering to buy a Project Spirit. This guy for not at least considering selling her because he's like, you wouldn't be interested in selling that car, would you? I was like, no. He's like, I didn't think so. He said, it's a nice looking car. He said, for a 70s, and for being in Missouri its whole life, it's in really great shape. And believe it or not, we've had her up on a lift, and mechanics have looked under her and they're like, this car is clean compared to even a car that's been around for 5 years. Cars, even after 5 years, nothing but rust underneath. Project Spirit has so little rust underneath her. They were like, she's practically brand new compared to a car just, after 5 years. She's in better shape than a car after 5 years. And they're like, this is the car that people would die for. Oh yeah. Think Different is he's a gearhead like me. Just a really, really, he knows his stuff. He knows cars. And when third gen 83 is in here, he's another one that really, really knows his stuff on cars. So Ooh, I'm scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. The look on your face, honey. Like, really? Here we go again.
Nobody better be touching my man. I'll kill him.
There you go.
Not really. Just kill him with kindness. And the occasional punch to the face.
You're welcome. We were talking to Think Different. He was, But anyhow, let's see. Best. Now that's a good question. Well, let me just say this right now, Mr. Cartoon. If you were to arm, what was the best one? The very first one. Because that's when I knew it was real. Okay? I knew I was going to be with that woman from now until the end of time. All right. So we have covered that. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys something really interesting. I don't know. I've never really... A gearhead? Yeah. I have not seen anything on the new Joker yet. Myself personally, there are two Jokers. Well, three Jokers, three people that played the best Jokers ever. And this is kind of the we're probably going to see Scooby-Doo. All right, to answer your question about the best Jokers ever, okay, because that's a good question. Even though that isn't really the topic, I'll be glad to answer it anyways. The best three Jokers, and this is if you include, actually, I don't count Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's Joker was good, but by no stretch of the imagination was it the best. I haven't had a chance to. I've been busy. I work a lot. And yesterday was no exception to the rule. Even though I was off from my regular job and I didn't stream or do anything, I was still working. I spent a lot of time working yesterday. It was ridiculous. And even before the live stream, I've been working, trying to get the kitchen straightened out again, for a cooking live stream coming up. But to answer your question, the three best Jokers. If you were to twist my arm, the first one that was the best, hands down, bar none, the best Joker was Mark Hamill in the Batman cartoons. He was the best, and that's if you count voice actors. Mark Hamill was the best. Tommy Lee Jones was not the Joker. He played as Two-Face. Jack Nicholson played as the Joker. And that was, he played, opposite of Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was one of the best Batmans ever. But Jack Nicholson played the best Joker, played the best Joker over even Heath Ledger's, because Heath Ledger did an amazing job, but Heath Ledger's Joker was not true to the comics. And that's the problem that I have. It's not true to the comics. Basically, it's like trying to rewrite it so it just sounds good. No. If you're going to do it as it was meant to be done. And Jack Nicholson's Joker was very close to the comics. Now that I've said that, there is the third Joker, and a lot of people are going to kind of look at when I say this, they're going to be like, I totally forgot about him, and why would you say that? And that would be Cesar Romero. Cesar Romero from the Batman TV series and the original Batman motion picture movie from back in the 1960s with Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as Robin. Cesar Romero was one of the best Jokers in the Batman, in the Batman acting scene.
I fixed it for you.
Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, I see what you did. And the reason why I say that is because when he did it, that was the time. You've never heard of Cesar Romero. Go back to the original Batman TV series. Now, Adam West caught a lot of flack because it was, but in the Adam West Batman TV show, Cesar Romero was the Joker. Now, you've got to remember it was a different time. And Batman was supposed to be for the kids. It was always supposed to be for the kids. But that changed in the 1980s. And as a matter of fact, if it hadn't been for the Superman movies where, who was it? Hang on. Christopher Reeves playing Superman, we would not have all of the comic book based movies that we have today. Because the Batman TV show was so campy and so, it was made for kids. People kind of looked down their nose at it. So when it was brought to Adam West's attention when he was still alive, everyone, you really were not the Dark Knight. He said no. He said out of all the Batmans, I was the Light Knight, and everyone's like. They got it finally. After all these years, they finally got it. I've not seen the Joker TV series, but to answer your question, who was the best Jokers? Now, again, I'm not knocking Heath Ledger, and it's and I'm not speaking ill of the dead here. It's just that his character is actually as far away from the comics as possible. So I know a lot of people will get upset with me saying that, but it wasn't true to the comics. So because of that, he doesn't fit in. I mean, he did an amazing performance. I'm not going to argue that, but because of that, it was a different take on the Joker. And because it wasn't true to the comics, basically just because he did something different doesn't necessarily mean it was better, That's right. Blacklight, you're awesome, man. From the 1960s. Yeah, Cesar Romero was one of the first Jokers. But Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, okay? Luke Skywalker was the best Joker. Mark Hamill did the voice for the Batman animated series that came out in 1991. And he was the voice actor for the Joker, and he was the best overall. And no one can argue that, okay? He was the best Joker. That's why he keeps having to reprise it. And for the record, I don't care what anyone's... That's right, that famous Joker laugh, Mark Hamill. Real quick, if you ever want to see... what Mark Hamill might have been if, hang on here. Let me look this up real quick. Dang it. Come on, here we go. I'm going to look this up for you guys real quick. If you guys ever want to see what Mark Hamill would have been if he would have played, what's going on, Harold's Random Videos? Welcome to the live stream. Harold, I seen you put up a new video. I got to get over there and check it out. I'd seen one that kind of caught my eye that you put up. I was like, I got to get over there. And so I got to get over there and look-see. But if you guys ever wondered what Mark Hamill... What you leave in?
Yeah, I got to start dinner, love.
Okay, baby.
It's not gonna take super long, so that's kind of why I'm taking my time, because I kind of want to have it done sort of by the end of your streamings.
Okay.
So that way you don't have to let it get cold.
Okay, baby. I love you.
I love you.
I got asked today, well, I got asked a little while ago on the live stream, what's the best kiss I ever had with you? I said the first one because that's how I knew it was going to be a very long time we'd be together.
I think that's really funny.
But
my immediate thought, since you're live, my immediate thought was, oh, the first one, huh? so my current ones aren't good enough for you.
Oh my gosh, Harold, you've been working hard though. You've worked hard on your channel, so you've been hard at it.
Have you complained about the recent change that's going to go on that you're struggling with?
Oh, we'll talk about that close to the end of the stream. Harold, you've worked hard on your channel. It's been a long uphill battle. Right. Okay, real quick.
Are you about to move the phone?
No.
No? Here you go. Okay. I'm disappearing. You don't see me.
I don't see you. Yeah, whatever. Okay, for those of you who do not know, if you ever wanted to see what Mark Hamill's Joker would actually look like, if he actually wasn't just, if he did like an actual live acting, go to the original Flash TV show from way back in 1991, where, who was it that, who played the Flash? I forget his name now, but he was an amazing actor. Hang on, I'll have that for you in a second. There it is. Who is it that? Oh yeah. Well, quit doing that. Just make a good video and call it a day, you know? Yeah, Galaxy. Doesn't matter. Whichever one, honey. You know I'm...
Alright. Be that way, that's fine. I don't know what you're gonna put anyway.
You know I can't... You know better than that. All right, real quick. I'm looking for something specific. Ah, here we go. Go to, if you want to see what Mark Hamill's Joker would have looked like if he would have got more than just voice acting. He played a character twice in the original Flash TV show with John Wesley Shipp playing as the Flash. It was from like 1990, 1991. As a matter of fact, the same guy who did the Oh wow, you're 15. Wow. So if you ever wanted to see that, and it'll be season 1, episode 12, you'll see that for the first time. Mark Hamill playing the part as the trickster in that TV series, and that is exactly what ended up becoming his voice acting for the Batman animated series. So Mark Hamill, Mr. Luke Skywalker, if you will, that's what his Joker would have been a lot like if, you know, it was very cartoony. As a matter of fact, give me a second here and I will give you an exact idea. Okay, hey, here we go. As soon as I get a good get a good picture, I'll show you what Mark Hamill's as the Trickster looks like. Here we go. This is Mark Hamill from that TV show that I was just talking about. That was the Trickster from The Flash from 1990, 1991. And if you watch this version, basically watch Mark Hamill play as the Trickster, that would eventually become the Joker in the Batman in the animated series, and of course in the Batman video games that come later, like the Arkham games. So there you go. That's Mark Hamill as the Trickster, and again, that's what it eventually would morph into. So there you have that little. So if you ever wanted to see that, I mean, so I know how good Mark Hamill would have been as a live action Joker. Very good. And if you've never seen that TV series, you definitely want to spend some time watching that. Yes, honey. You're back?
I got everything set up to start dinner.
Sweet.
I got my snack.
Your snack?
My snack.
Your snack.
Would you like one?
No, I you know how it's a texture thing. Could you do me a flavor though? Could you grab my trail mix?
That's on the counter, right?
I think so, yeah.
Here, hold that.
You know what that looks like to me.
Baby vomit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyhow. So now you guys got to see, you guys learned so much from me on this stuff.
Here you go.
Ah, thank you, dear.
Give me back my baby vomit.
Okay, so
You might want to clarify, otherwise people are going to think I'm just disgusting.
Nike, just do it. Mr. Cartoon, I'm going to tell you the honest goodness truth. You don't get it. We are looking at doing a live stream again where we're going to start and we're going to start doing it more, where once a week we're going to start working towards talking to, basically looking at that whole thing where we are going to look at doing, looking at.
You can get it out. You're good. You can get it out.
Shut up.
Oh,
At setting up a creators union. And there's some people I need to get in touch with, but yeah.
Go get Taylor.
Basically, YouTube won't be able to mess with us anymore because they're slowly picking away at my channel. So again, we're looking at actually starting a creators union where, if basically YouTube tries to do that, the creators union gets to sue YouTube every time. Not just, but every time they try to mess with a creator, that they get sued every time. And, so yeah, YouTube's on the ropes with this one. They hate it when I start talking about it. So yeah, we're looking at that. All right. So back to what we were talking about. Some good questions. So again, the haul was successful today. It was an amazing success. Throughout the week, we'll talk more about the other stuff that we pick up. Again, I do need to pick up a couple more bottles of this, and let me explain. Project Spirit is what they sometimes refer to as a Babbitt engine. It's your old pushrod engine. And the old motor oil, back when Project Spirit would have been brand new, had to have zinc in it. And STP is about the only company that still has zinc as an additive, because around 1980, 81, they started taking the zinc out of the motor oil. Didn't need it anymore. But what about the cars that still needed it? So here's the problem. So companies like STP provide an engine oil treatment, and no, I'm not sponsored, hashtag not sponsored. Basically, by putting this in there, really, dude, you're gonna, don't put stuff like that. No.
What do you think?
You're gonna go drink bleach.
Mm.
Really?
That'll just make you really sick.
That'll just make you really sick. Bleach has changed too much. So number one, that's not gonna do what it does. And number two, really, this channel's all about trying to be positive and things like that. Okay? You know, seriously. You know, if you
No, we don't think you're joking.
No.
And it's not, even if it was a joke, it wouldn't be funny at all. Past
No.
actions, I saw that comment. Nobody's perfect, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's got a clean slate. Nobody is completely innocent.
Thank you.
Alright? All you can do is learn from your mistakes of the past so you can make better choices in the future. All life is just trying to be better than you were the day before.
That's right. And the other, what I was going to say is, you know, I'm one of those ones that you've heard my story. You know, I've went through some stuff and I've done some crazy stuff. I shouldn't even be here, but I am. So obviously I'm still serving a purpose. And if you're still here, right? You know, if you're still here, you know, you still serve a purpose.
If they can't accept your apology, that's on them.
Thank you.
You still tried. You're trying to be a better person. Some people need a lot of time to accept. I have an individual who has attempted to apologize to me for something that they did to me. I am still not able to accept their apology. I can't. But that doesn't mean I hate that person. I'm still friends with them. I still love them dearly.
You know, Mr. Cartoon, I'm going to give you a challenge. All right. You have my email address. I want you to shoot me an email after the live stream. Okay. I'll tell you what, do me a favor. You've got my email address. I'm asking you to shoot me an email after the live stream. I'm going to send you my phone number. If you want to talk, I'll be glad to listen to you. Okay? Don't worry about all that. Just listen to what I'm going to tell you. You've got my email address. Shoot me an email so I can send you my phone number. And if you want to talk, we'll talk, okay? Because I can't really do enough right here in the live like this. But I can listen to any problem you have over the phone. It's so much easier, okay?
A subject matter of this magnitude really needs more of a one-on-one approach anyways.
Yes.
And clearly, since you're upset enough to speak on it currently, I would highly suggest you take Prince up on his offer and email him.
And you all know at any time, you know, if you've got my email address, I have no problem sending you my phone number. I have no problem whatsoever.
And bro, bleach don't taste good. Don't do that.
No.
I should know.
Ew. Splash that stuff in your mouth when you were cleaning.
That wasn't what I was getting at.
Yeah, I know.
You're not alone, dude.
We've all been there. All been there. So, now that we have covered all of that, what would we do? Oh, real quick, we got to talk about it. We have number 13 ready to come out.
Bye.
Number 13 is ready to come out. I'm an animated person. What do you expect? Number 13 is ready to come out. So after the live, if all goes well, it's all right. You've got my email. Shoot me an email so I can give you my phone number. You'll be able to talk to me anytime you want, okay? The only time I won't be able to talk to you is if I'm trying to sleep before I go to work or if I'm at work. Because the Prince Magnum channel is not there yet. Heck, even Harold knows. He can shoot me an email. Harold, any one of y'all.
If you don't actually have his email because you haven't been paying enough attention to chat, it is princemagnum1@gmail.com. Princemagnum, one word, one numerical 1@gmail.com. Please email him. This chair won't stop spinning.
Email. Don't you dare. You're going to get me in trouble.
Are we allowed to email you pudding? Am I dumb? Am I missing the joke? It's cute. Is it not cute? Is it something that if you explain it to me, I'm going to slap you?
Probably.
I'm down for a good slapping.
Do you want some pudding? Well, no. I need to get a bowl of pudding there, pudding.
I'm going to enjoy looking you over later. You need to get a bowl of pudding?
Remember, can I get a bowl of pudding there, pudding?
Is this a reference to Carrie?
Yes. I had that coming.
We are not robots. Whoa.
You have 4 Gmails.
Why do you have 4G? Okay, well, I'm not one to talk. I think I have 3.
I have 1.
In my defense, 2 of them are like old and I don't use them anymore. Okay?
That's all right. What?
Mr.
They're all.
Cartoon put in his email. Unfortunately, hun, we don't send out emails. You'll have to send it to us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't. But it's okay.
There's a reason why he only has 1 email. Can't keep track of it. More. You can barely keep track of
The one I got.
what was already in there.
That reminds me, since we're here in the office.
I will have to talk.
Okay. You know what to do. Just shoot me an email.
princemagnum1@gmail.com. Prince Magnum. One word.
Okay. Since we're here in the office, I got to tell y'all, my office chair squeaks.
For now.
And because it squeaks, all it takes is me to add in a suggestive sound. And if I add in a suggestive sound, you all will laugh uncontrollably. If I... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where's your WD-40?
I don't have any WD-40.
Where's your Marvel's Mystery Oil?
Right there. Don't use it in here. It'll get all over the floor.
I don't care at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Bad! Look at the newspaper. Stop it.
You all just seen that. Princess Faye getting on to me. Awesome. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh my
I'll
gosh.
continue to intervene every time you make that joke.
What joke?
Exactly. Keep it that way. Hey. watching
Oh my gosh. Oh man, we have too much fun. That's fine though. And while we're in the office, we do need to. Where is Sean? Sean's got to be here for this. But doggone it, that's okay. We'll do it anyways. Project cars. All right. Since we're here in the office, we do need to talk about. This is a DIY channel, and one of the things that. Thank you, honey. All right, this is one of the dash cams that we use here on the channel. It's just a black web. Oh my God, I can barely keep up with my one. This particular these black web cams, 1080 HD, 1080 pixel HD cameras, black web, and I've got 8 gig cards in here, so not bad, not bad. And we've got 2 of these, and these get these amazing shots over the hood of Project Spirit and Project Lena, and they are so great at getting video footage. We'll use them for everything. That being said, because they're dash cams, unfortunately, there is no other way to mount them other than right there. So I got the idea. I was going to go in behind HQ, and I actually cut down a tree that's in behind HQ and cut out a section of wood. Normally, the city comes through and kind of cuts those trees down anyways, to keep the snakes out, because we got kids in the neighborhood, So I then cut out a section from this tree I cut down and basically made my own camera stand. So that's this right here. And literally, basically I flattened out this section here so it sits nice and flush. And then carved out this section right here, and the camera sits right like that perfectly. And then to go along with that, this is the camera lens, okay? And I had to cut out this little knock right here so the camera lens will sit perfectly like that. Now to get this perfect spot right here, I had to take this half moon shaped file right like that, and then to lay it down and work it back and forth until I got this perfect spot right like that. So, because I used this file on this block of wood, that must mean I am good at filing and should try my hand at being a secretary. Which this is true. I mean, I did that myself. Pretty cool. I remember when I sent the filing joke, traditional here on the Prince Magnum channel. The filing joke. Sean missed it again. Dang it, Sean! Get your internet fixed, brother. I think different his favorite joke. No, really. I mean, I really did actually carve this out myself specifically for these cameras. So that really is not the joke. But after I did it, I'm sitting there thinking, looking at it, because after I did that, I really did actually take this file and do that. I'm sitting there thinking, why don't I just, make a joke, out of that? And I'm sitting there thinking, filing. And I was sitting there thinking, I remember, like a scene on like a TV show. So it was a reference where the secretary was sitting there filing her nails, and that's all she was doing was filing her nails. And basically like, aren't you supposed to be doing something? That sort of thing, it's just like I'm filing. So I thought that was, and I remembered that, and that's where that gag, I don't remember the TV show, but I remember that particular gag, and that's where this one came in. I'm really good at filing, so I should try my hand at being a secretary. So that's actually where that came from. I just don't remember what TV show, but I remember seeing that. So if y'all ever wondered about that, the things you remember, Kind of like the aircraft remover. Calm down. The lid's on. The lid's on. It's safe. Okay? Those starships are in danger. Uh-oh.
Because I have to put on that oven glove and the fuzz inside snags that spot.
Ooh. Gimme. Gimme. Here.
No.
Princess Faye cut her finger the other day, and since she's going to be working with some oven mitts, I'm going to do a patch job on her real quick.
And I'm so right-handed that I can't do anything with my left hand.
Show you guys this. That part is supposed to be sterile. So you don't even touch it. Just like that. And then and that is how you properly do that. Feel good?
Thumbs up. Thank you. It's almost healed. Once that piece of skin falls off, it'll be fine.
Right. Oh, Think Different says hi.
I think different.
So you guys, yeah, there you go. A little first aid too here on the channel. That's the proper way to do that. I know. Blacklight says he hopes your finger gets to feeling better soon. So, all right. Did you guys learn anything? I mean, we always ready to talk about cars. Yeah. Think Different's very, very knowledgeable about cars. I imagine he probably knows a few things that I probably don't even know. Yep. Band-Aid. Had to get a Band-Aid. Band-Aid. So, all right, real quick. We need to start talking about current events because we need to start winding it down for the night. I know sometime this week we are probably going to try to pull a really long stream. I don't know what the frick we're going to do, but we're going to do something. I just don't know what. And we are going to try to do some live streaming with doing work on the cars. We are going to look at doing that. I know there's probably going to be an live stream later this week episode. It's going to be an unboxing live stream because 3rd Gen 83 is sending something specifically for Project Spirit. For those that do not know, 3rd Gen 83 has an amazing project car of his own that he has had since he was a teenager. He's got this gorgeous 73 Ford Maverick 2-door. Oh my God. That is a beautiful looking car, beautiful gold, and just amazing. Where is my little sister, Hannah? I don't know. She's been playing a lot of Minecraft lately. She's been playing the hell out of Minecraft. So I don't see her as much. And I'm wondering if for the record, my dad and I don't speak very much. This virus. Well, we're preparing for the second wave. That's what I was basically showing you guys. We basically did a haul, and I'm glad that we did it. I even picked up a couple of things for work because essential. Fast food is not essential. Well, I got nothing against those in the gaming community. I got nothing against it. A lot of people enjoy there's nothing wrong with the gaming community. I mean, many of you are from the gaming community. That's how we met. But here's the thing. I mean, I do some gaming and that sort of thing. But the thing of it is that because of the whole, DIY side of it, I try to avoid doing a lot of gaming. It's nothing against the gaming community. It's just I prefer to do more DIY. Now that doesn't mean that sometime later this week, we won't stream a game, and I can tell you what game it'll be. I might, I'll have to let my little sister, I'll have to holler at her and basically tell her that y'all, I'll also tell her y'all said hi. So again, you guys are really the ones that are awesome, you know. So we are going to try to squeeze in. There will be at some point. There's going to be an unboxing here this week, but we're thinking it's probably going to be Friday when the package arrives. If that is the case, if it is Friday when the package gets here, we're going to move Fancy Friday to a spiffy Sunday. Not a problem. Okay, you guys will still get your suit and tie episode. And we're going to have a lot of fun with that, which will be ironic because we'll be doing a suit and tie episode the day after. We'll be doing it a day right after Sexy Saturday. Unfortunately, and I already explained to Third Gen that we will not do an unboxing live stream if by any stretch of the imagination, we'll have to hold off a day because we will not, I repeat, we will not mess with Thursday Night Sober Talk. Thursday Night Sober Talk is there, and it is the only one that we cannot play with. Now, if that piece gets here on, basically on Saturday, then we'll go live, or we'll do 2 live streams on Saturday, one of an unboxing, and then we'll stay with Sexy Saturday. So that's kind of how that's going to go. The only one we're going to play with Fancy Fridays doesn't seem to be, Fancy Fridays isn't it? I mean, it started to be popular, but now it's not. But it seems like Sexy Saturdays, that stays very popular. It just doesn't quit. And a Thursday Night Sober Talk does not change. There are some of you that have come to where, we got something new to try out for Sexy Saturdays. Princess Faye picked it up.
It's just mascara.
Oh, it's a mascara.
Your eyelashes are very light, so I thought maybe if we tried some mascara. I won't ever use mascara on myself, but we'll put it to you.
So basically, she's gonna, this is also a time to also experiment with makeup, and I mean, basically, I'm the test subject. So if y'all, so some of your ladies want to try it, Well, we don't, and anywhere where we can also squeeze in another sober talk throughout the week, we will too. Now tomorrow we are looking at doing an in your face episode. In your face, we're going to talk about the treatment of our veterans because we just had Memorial Day, and I thought it would be a good. And more specifically, we're going to talk about the Vietnam veterans, how they really been screwed, and I'm also going to take a shot at Missouri and how they treat some of our war monuments to our veterans. So and I've got video footage. Yep. Oh, Sober Talk. I know you love Sober Talk, but in your face, we're going to be going after the treatment of our veterans, and it's bullshit how they get treated, and we're gonna stand up for our veterans. Okay, we're actually going to talk about it. We're going to stand up for them. Yeah, that's right. But Thursday Night Sober Talk stays the same. So Sober Talk will definitely be a big one. That one won't change, but Friday we may have to play with it a little bit. But I know there's going to be an unboxing sometime this week. So just kind of a heads up. We may have to go, if it's on the weekend, we'll go live twice. If it's on Friday, we'll go, we will not mess with, but Thursday Night Sober Talk has to stay the same. That's just period. And I think the last two Thursday Night Sober Talks have been pretty doggone good. Getting y'all have gotten me to start talking about, what it was like before. And I hate talking about that, but I know I need to do it to kind of remind myself. A woman once said to me, life is like driving your car down a road. You got to look through the windshield to see where you're going, but occasionally you got to look in the rear view mirror to see where you've been. So I've been able to tell you all, where I've been, and I think you've all kind of enjoyed that, hearing some of the old stories, and I know a lot of you have enjoyed hearing about Tanya, hearing her story and things like that. I mean, that I know for a lot of you that's been huge, and a lot of I've actually talked to some of you while being in your live streams. They're like, "Wow, that was deep, man, inspirational, very moving." That's a lot of what I hear. It was very moving, and yeah, I can't even, we're actually coming up on what would have been her 42nd birthday this year. She would have been 42 this year if she had not passed away. So I know you guys are kind of excited about seeing another In Your Face. We are going to be winding that series down. That series is going to be going away, but we're going to do it right. We're going to make it known, that hard-hitting stuff. And there may be an excellent chance sometime this week we will go live again. Thank you, Blacklight. I appreciate that. I don't know. It doesn't get any easier after all this time. It's not gotten easy. I've just kind of learned to live with the pain, a little bit better. It was a different time. It was definitely a different time. It was really hard then, and it is, I'm not going to lie, it's still hard to talk about now. And depending on my mood, if I'm in front of a lot of people and I'm telling that story, I usually lose it. I'm usually a crying mess. And but here on a live stream, for whatever reason, when I'm on camera, I break down. I go right to the edge and kind of tear up and get choked up and things like that. But all caught me telling the story live, I would probably lose it. That's right. And her story is still alive and well, after all this time. So definitely Thursday will stay the same, but we're going to figure it out throughout the week because, like I said, the unboxing, basically, Third Gen 83, since he was kind enough to do this, we have to do an unboxing. He basically even said, I don't even want you to open it until you open it up on camera. And I said, we're going to go live and do it. He's like, oh, that's going to even be better. Because he won't even tell me what's coming. I don't have a clue. I just know it's for Project Spirit. That's it. He's like, you got it. And I said, I'll tell you what. I said, we're going to open it up live. He's like, oh, that's even better. He said, I'm going to be so excited about that. So just kind of expect if it's an unboxing on Saturday or Sunday, there's going to be two streams basically. If it's on Friday, okay, go for it. You are welcome to. I'll tell you guys this right now, okay?
Are you winding down?
Yeah, we're getting ready to wind down, baby.
You can take your time. I just wanted to make sure that if you wanted to, I am streaming tonight. More Amnesia.
Okay, real quick. Princess Feyru was kind enough to just remind me that she will be later on tonight live streaming Amnesia.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Yes.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Have you? I think you've played this before, but
I played the demo like several times because I really liked it, and then I did the beginning part of the game yesterday. Queen was with me actually for a little while. Mr. Cartoon showed up. Somebody else did too. I don't remember who it was. Sorry if you're listening. It was considerably different from what I thought was going to happen. I had never played the game myself, and I'm enjoying it, even though I'm a big old scaredy pants. I promise you, I will cry. Because I've been pushing myself to go farther through my fear, and it fucking sucks. But it's so much fun. So if you want to see me cry.
So if y'all want to show some love to my beautiful, lovely wife, Princess Feyru, she will be live streaming later on tonight. Okay. So now that we've covered all of that, again, I will try to reiterate at some point during this week, we are going to try to get some, we are going to try to get some of the, we're going to try to get some work done to the project cars. We're going to try to do some. Thank you, Blacklight. Appreciate that. We're going to try to get in there and do some work to the cars so you guys can see that kind of happening, like an oil change, how ridiculously easy it is. I'm telling you guys right now, an oil change, why pay for something when you could do it yourself in this case? Because you're going to pay a whole lot more. Basically, you do the work, and trust me, and I'll explain a lot of that when it comes time. And I know I did a video actually explaining how to do all this before, but we're going to do it again. But we're going to do it in a live stream so you guys can see step by step what it's like. It's ridiculously easy, and you can take your time on it. And I like taking my time on a project like this because I can make sure that it's done the way that I want. Very true, Blacklight. Yes, sir.
I'm just checking on it.
Okay.
You can keep going until dinner's done so that you can show it off.
I was getting ready to shut down.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So, all right. And I know you guys like spending time with the project cars, which again, Think Different is close enough. He lives close enough to Prince Magnum Channel HQ. He could actually come over and, anytime and get his own personal walk around of Project Spirit. There are actually people that have been longtime supporters of the channel. They'll bounce in every now and again, or they'll look for certain series or something like that, and then they'll ask for their own walk around of Project Spirit as I'm coming out of work, or I'm over at Princess Faye's job or somewhere like that. They'll ask for their own personal walk around. Collab. I'll put you to work. Put you to work. Give me a hand. That's right, Blacklight. So there we have it. We got a lot of ground to cover. Got a lot of ground to cover this week, and hopefully we can get a lot done this week. But you know what? We're going to do as much as we can, weather permitting. It's been wanting to rain all day today. It's actually been chilly outside, but the humidity's been high. Basically when the wind blows, the temperature like drops. And it was really nice earlier today, but Missouri weather's been freaking weird. And it's like, man, I don't know what to think. But, we're going to try to get some work done this week. Again, we talked about, if you missed out on a lot of the information that we provided earlier in the stream, be sure to watch the playback, because there was a lot of stuff I went over on the cars themselves. And basically what we're doing to prepare for the second wave, if there is one, a full-on second wave of the pandemic. I used to be young, but I'm getting older. Okay. I'm getting older, but I don't mind sharing what I've learned. I'm glad that I learned it. And as much as, even though my dad and I do not really talk to each other, I'm very grateful he took the time out to teach me what he knew, at least the basics. And if it wasn't for what he taught me, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have today. because he gave me enough that I'm like beyond, I know more now than I could have ever have imagined about cars. And it's all because my dad took the time and taught me. And I was willing to remain teachable as a kid. I didn't act like I didn't always act like the typical teenager that thought he knew everything, you know. Blacklight, it's okay. See, I can go to my job and there will be a dozen people there that'll tell me, "Gosh dang it, Prince Magnum, you're old." I guess that's so. You're telling me I'm young. They're telling me I'm old. I guess that's why they call this your middle ages. You're right in between, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with getting old. Okay, I'm okay with getting old. It's perfectly fine. How do you get to be an old man? By not drink. You don't drink. You don't drug. You don't die. You breathe in and breathe out. That's it. That's how you become an old man. um, it's old. It's as old as I've ever lived. I mean, come on. It's perfectly okay. So, all right, that does bring us to the spot where we do need to wind this down. Again, we got to spend some time with the project cars. Very funny. YMCA. I love that song. I love the Village People. I don't care what anybody says. The Village People is one of the greatest disco groups. The Village People was one of the greatest disco groups of all time. And Village People and Macho Man are the two songs that everyone remembers. I'm sorry, their song, um, you know, San Francisco, amazing song. Then of course, their song Hollywood, absolutely amazing. Their song Hot Cop was even just as cool. In the Navy, a lot of people remember In the Navy, and that one was good. Their song Go West, Liberation. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm a Village People fan. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, I know how that might make some people think, Prince Magna. I don't care it's not about their lifestyle. It's all about how much you enjoy the music. So there you have that. Okay. Yes, I said it. All right. So that does bring us to a good stopping point. Again, all of you in the Maverick Nation, you guys are the true stars next to Project Spirit. Project Spirit's the big star. Project Lena is her Project Spirit's co-star. But you guys are the true shining stars here on the Prince Magnum channel. You guys are the ones that are pushing us to the top, going to be sending us to that point where we're monetized. It's all of you that are putting me where I need to go. Okay? So you guys are the true, you guys are amazing. And so many of you have so much knowledge out there. I mean, I'm oftentimes blown away at how smart all of you really are. Which it shouldn't surprise me because you guys are the Maverick Nation, okay? I'm going to say it again. You guys are what makes the Prince Magnum beep, beep, beep. You guys are what makes the Prince Magnum channel awesome. You guys are the Maverick Nation. Hands down, bar none. Because of you guys, I am the luckiest content creator in the world because I have you guys behind me all of the way. That's what makes the Prince Magnum channel what it is you guys. Okay? Project cars, all that stuff, that's just icing on the cake for me. It's you guys that make it awesome. All right? So don't you ever forget it. If you ever start feeling down, thinking that you're not worth anything, remember, you're one of the key players in the Maverick Nation. Okay? Because you guys are helping me you know, you guys help me stay sober. Okay? You guys help me stay sober. So if you ever begin to think that you're not important or anything like that, you guys are helping me stay sober. You're helping save my life. So if you guys are the ones you're helping me save my life, then you are important. Period. That brings us to the point where I get to say, and Blucklight, you're trying to steal my line. That seems to be a thing where a lot of y'all are stealing my lines. That's awesome. It's awesome. That makes me feel really good when you guys start mimicking my lines. That makes me feel so good. Don't you guys ever stop mimicking my lines or stealing them for your channels, because that really does make me feel really good when you guys do that. It does make me feel really good when you guys do that. So that does bring us to the spot where I get to say to all of you, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep her off her feet. Do something special for him today. And as always, for all of you out there, especially in these dark times, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.